evening, I'm William Shatner's toupee.
I'm D'Artagnan.
And you're watching Examining the Expanse. So Steve, season 5.
D'Artagnan. I said my name was D'Artagnan.
Okay. So D'Artagnan, season 5 is about 2 weeks off. And Amazon have announced that season 6 is going to be the last season of The Expanse.
Good. Oh, no. I'm happy with that. That sounds fucking great. Yeah. We all know the mistake, right? Sure, you can have a great show and it can keep going and it can keep going. Eventually, it's not going to be a great show. That's just how it happens. That constantly happens every single time, no matter what show it is. Right? There's always some sort of dip in quality the longer that you go. 6 seasons sounds perfectly fine to me.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I can see that. And I have faith in the writers and the showrunners and the novelists.
Picking a time to end and giving enough room to end. Right? Not just arbitrarily like after season 5 or something say, okay, well the next season's the end.
We're doing the Stargate Atlantis thing where they don't actually let them wrap up. They just go, this is it.
You've got a contract for for another 2 seasons, and then that's it. Sounds perfectly fine to me.
Yeah. Well, ideally, I would have fucking loved for 9-season run with all the books.
They might come back with it. They might. I think Belinda said, or you said.
You're reading my comments.
Maybe.
Jesus Christ.
But comments, plural.
There were multiple comments with one person.
Movie or whatever, right, at the end of it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just, the consistency and the sort of like hard, at this point, I'm all for a hard and fast deadline.
That's fair. So yeah, from what I know, I haven't read any of these books, but books 4, 5, and 6, they wrap up the Inner Planets War quite well, so it is like a logical ending place. Then after book 6 there's a 30-year gap, and then books 7, 8 and 9 they like tackle the proto-molecule narrative.
That's the most exciting stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're going to wrap up the whole proto-molecule thing.
They'll probably get some sort of closure to it.
Yeah, like a half, that you can find like a halfway where you wrap up the Inner Planets War and you kind of wrap up the proto-molecule narrative, but you leave the door open for a possible like movie or...
I mean, they're not that far away from sort of wrapping up the interplanetary conflict. It's really just sort of the Belters versus the Inners now, with everybody else sort of focusing on the frontier, right?
Yeah. So basically, Marco's just going to be terrorist man. They're going to combat him, and then
that's the last major sort of obstacle, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they gave them this time to wrap it up, and I have faith that they can satisfyingly wrap it up.
Of course.
But I'm in 2 frames of mind. I would have loved for like a 9-season run and for it to be amazing. And I'm also hopeful that, in 30 years' time, we got 3 seasons with Sci-Fi, then it was cancelled. Then we got seasons with Amazon, then it was cancelled. And now 30 years' time, when all the actors are age appropriate, in 2050, Netflix can do the final 3 seasons. I'll be a 60-year-old man with my grey long hair, sitting there, smoking weed, going, the Expanse is back. Well done it, boys.
And again, it's kind of not being cancelled. It kind of is, it kind of isn't.
They haven't used the word cancelled.
But I mean, it's like, again, cancelled. The first time it was cancelled, it was fucking cancelled.
It was like halfway through that season 3, they're like, we're not picking you up again.
Yeah, we're not.
They've given them time to figure shit out.
It's a more graceful sort of exit.
Absolutely.
And I always said, I would prefer having a sort of, all the current sort of arcs besides, I guess, the proto-molecule one, depending on how they wrap it up. And a solid, start to finish series, then one that sort of goes on too long and runs the risk of becoming either getting cancelled.
When it's not done.
When it's not done, or having some issues with it as it goes towards the end.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's kind of where we're at. That's just the realities of it, right? That's the realities of it, yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, I mean, 6-season run is a fucking great run.
Yes.
And I assume that season 5 and 6 are going to be of the quality of the rest of the show. You can't ask for more, Steve.
It's like
I'm not disappointed.
It's like The Walking Dead is like season 20 something.
Yeah.
And it's like,
just
man,
keeps on going.
And it's like, man, you know, maybe it was a little bit schlocky, like in the like, you know, the first like 5 seasons or something. It had something going. And, you know, there was something to it. Whatever. I got some enjoyment out of it. And it's just still going. It's still going. And it is hot garbage.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of the stuff. I don't need to watch it. I just watched the trailer and go, this is hot garbage.
You're done.
It's done, you know. Can you imagine? It's like
that'd be sad.
Trying to milk it for all of its work.
Yeah, well, it's better to burn out than fade away, you know. Be the Beatles and release like fucking 13 albums in 7 years and conquer the world and then be done and dusted. Don't be like Korn and keep on slogging out garbage albums to teeny boppers, you know. Yeah, it's better to have a nice, good, solid run than start tripping and stumbling. Also, Cass Anvar won't be in season 6. We all fucking knew this. Who gives a fuck?
It was either going to be season 5 or season 6.
Right?
Depending on when.
So they'd already filmed all the season 5.
Yeah, so
we're not going to cut him out.
We're not going to have just a void, like a white void where his character is.
Put an emoji over his face and all his scenes. Muffle his dialogue.
Use Microsoft Sam's text to speech and replace all of his lines.
So I mean, of course he wasn't going to come back. And it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of stuff.
Well, again, they've got enough time. They'll give him a graceful exit as well. So
drowns in his soup. It's really ungraceful. It's really heavy-handed. Like a group of angry women beat him to death.
That's right.
Oh no! I didn't know I was meant to ask permission.
You never ever get him to fucking agree to that.
Have like CGI his face on or something.
Like the fucking.
Tell him it just be like a blue screen. Tell him it's a completely different scene, and then cut the women in. So just want you to read some of these lines. They might stay. They might get cut. You know.
Oh no! My greatest enemy, women. Oh dear.
Shit, Have you watched The Queen's Gambit, Steve?
No. I heard it's about chess.
It is. It is about chess. But what it's really about
is chess.
It's chess.
What is it? I saw
Yeah, it's kind of exploding in popularity right now, and I watched that Down the Rabbit Hole. I'll put the link in the description. Did you watch the Deep Blue?
Yes, I did. Well, I was going to say I watched the Deep Blue
hour-long video,
which is
fascinating.
It was super fascinating.
I played chess here and there in my youth.
I used to play chess in primary school.
Primary school, but by high school, you're not doing chess.
Cool.
You're into rock and roll. So I found that fascinating, and then Jas was like, "Oh, this is a cool thing," and I'm like, "Okay." And I sat down and watched it. And it was fucking amazing.
I don't know. Chess, a show about chess.
It's not about chess though. The lead character is working her way up through the chess world, but it's about her her childhood story and like growing up. It's like a coming of age story. It's got all this drug and alcohol addiction themes.
Okay.
And the way it's executed is really good. The actress's name is Anya Taylor-Joy. Do you remember
Gwyneth Paltrow?
Gwyneth Paltrow. Do you remember The Witch?
The Vivitch?
The Vivitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the main girl from that.
Trying to remember what else she's from.
She's in New Mutants, which is terrible. She's in The Queen's Gambit. She was in The Vivitch.
I know, you said that already. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I'll put it on my list.
Yeah, I fucking love the fuck out of it. I was gonna passively watch it. Yeah. And the first night I think I watched 3 episodes, and then the next night I watched the rest of it. Yeah. Actually cried. There's an emotional beat in the last episode. I was actually
you just spoiled it for me. I'm gonna be expecting it now.
There's an emotional beat. That's not a spoiler. The narrative has arcs. The characters spew dialogue.
I'm not gonna cry now.
Well, you wouldn't have anyway, Steve, because you don't feel emotions like the rest of us. But
That's hurtful.
I was highly engaged with it. I always romanticize the drug addict too. over like a strong romantic connection to that, like your Hunter S. Thompsons and Jimi Hendrix and Bon Scott.
It's not good though.
It's not good, but on the screen, I just I am drawn to the drug addict story. I relate to it.
Well, you could always go a step further and just be drawn to drugs itself.
I mean, I think probably I should start booting off heroin
into your eye socket.
That's probably the next.
Public in the shopping center.
Yeah. That's probably the next logical.
That's the next logical step.
Yeah, stage of my life.
Where the hell have you been? Fuck being fired, boss. I quit.
So yeah, this is all kind of the action beats for season 4. I think episode 10 is wrapping everything up and then kind of setting up some season 5 stuff. But this is very much all these storylines they've been setting up coming to a violent head for the most part.
They gave excellent closure between Miller and Holden.
Yeah.
Excellent closure. It's I'm sad to see the actor that portrays Miller.
Thomas Jane.
He's not going to come back.
No, he's
fucking amazing.
Yeah. And I've said it before, but I really love that sci-fi concept of this mental projection from this hellscape Eros exploding and it being projected in Holden's mind like he's crazy, and then all the glitching, flicking between Proto Miller and actual Miller is all incredible, and those actors together, their chemistry is incredible.
Well, that's that final scene with Holden and Miller is fucking
Rain
great.
Tastes Like Water. But just they're bickering. I can watch them bicker for fucking.
I know. It was fucking excellent. Yeah, they didn't. You could say that maybe they didn't spend enough time together. Time?
But that's kind of the point. That's why it's kind of
well, you don't want it to be too much, right? As well.
Their little ending was perfect too. They didn't do the sappy minor scale. They didn't build up as
well. They didn't say a whole lot either, and they didn't need to. You knew the characters were communicating. Non-vocally, right?
Yeah, so it's sad to see him go again. But at the same time, I think him being sporadically in the show does make it sadder. We didn't get burnt out on Miller.
No, that's true.
They left it so you want more, but there is no more.
No, which is fine, which is great. That's perfect. That's
same with the show. It's going to be 6 seasons and not burn out and leave you fucking tiresome and Vikings. Is this over yet?
Is it still going?
There's one more season.
Oh, how many seasons is that?
I think there's only 6, but they started making each season 20 episodes rather than 10. So around halfway through it, I think there's going to be 90 episodes by the end. That's fair. That's fair. I still enjoy it, but after Ragnar, it definitely lost steam and stumbled.
Oh well, no.
It tripped over. It had muffins and it smashed.
Well,
its face
bloody
on the
Bjorn.
muffins.
Where are our adventures with Bjorn in the Great Beyond, and where there was the with fucking in England, the boys that were in England, that was really great, all that sort of stuff. And then it just sort of went.
That's fair.
Where the hell have you been?
I've been here the whole time.
Why wouldn't you just talk to me?
It's not that easy.
No hat?
It's not my hat. That hat belongs to the investigator.
We also, get some great fucking Amos moments in this episode. Previous to this episode, he had a psychological fucking breakdown when he lost his eyesight.
Yeah.
He's talking to Jasper about it, and it's just he's somewhat stable until his control gets taken away. Then the monster within him is just fucking.
Oh yeah, total existential crisis. Yeah. Well, he is so used to being in control, right?
That's his character. He's the tank. He's the big guy. And he falls back into that role in this episode. We need to talk about his relationship with Wei too, because I don't think we talked about it at all. But I love them together. They had great chemistry. There was a moment in episode 3 or something where he goes over to RCA and he takes a generator.
Yes.
And she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they have
this
argument. And then he's like, "So are we not fucking anymore?"
It's
and it's just so
And then the confusion on her face.
Yeah, she's like, "Wait, what? No, we're still fucking."
This
is business. You're talking pleasure.
Yeah, that was such a an aside, it threw her for a loop. Him saying that, it's fucking great.
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck? So yeah, they had great chemistry, and obviously you build that relationship up, becomes more emotionally fueled, and he makes his decision. His priorities are the Rossi and Holden and the crew, and he just fucking shoots her. He fucking just kills his love interest. This is a main character that we follow and love, and he's just like, I'm gonna go through you, and she's like, well, you're gonna need to go through me. He's like, okay, bye. Dead.
It's like, well, I mean,
Jesus.
Anybody that knows Amos,
he's cold.
Didn't expect any different, right?
He's emotionally distant. Then Mertry shoots his fingers off, which is a great fucking shot.
That's
blood
cool.
and
he's got his fingers all fucked up. Yeah.
this whole environment in this episode is great too. That like alien portal that Holden jumps down.
Well, I love again. We talked about this the last time we did it. Holden like just making decisions and committing and leaning into it, and it's just like it's like there's almost no fucking hesitation, straight down through the hole. It's like no, that's not how. This is not happening, right? Who their fucking right mind is doing this? And then like Amos, like 15 minutes later or whatever, does the exact same damn thing.
Yeah,
it's
they're
like,
all jumping down the psychedelic alien porthole to the eye of the universe.
I would not be going down that fucking hole.
They're people of action.
Yeah.
They don't sit around and ponder the possibilities. Like, I guess I'm jumping down this thing. In the book, it was like a long conveyor belt kind of mining cart thing that like went down into near the center of the planet. But I like this weird, ethereal, psychedelic kind of imagery. Really cool.
Wake up, Sleeping Beauty.
We also get like really cool executed sequence on the Rossi when the shuttle comes and Alex blows it up. What's her face? Lucia? Or Basia? Shisia? The lady.
The criminal. The criminal.
Yeah, the terrorist, the murderous terrorist. She gets knocked into space. And
and she just floats forever because everybody goes, well, she's a terrorist, so we're just going to let her go.
Don't go and save her.
Yeah,
Just let her fucking spiral into the infinite.
Yeah, she goes into the great beyond. And then that's it. That's the last time we see her. And I was like, you know what? That's perfect end for that character.
Well, she's gone. That'd be a terrifying way to go out. Just uncontrollable spinning into the void. But you become complacent with the show just through viewing it. But when you really sit down and look at it, like all these CGI models of the ships, they look so fucking beautiful and they're executed so fucking well. It's talking about the reflections on the helmets and all the lights when they're spinning around. It looks like a fucking movie, and I don't know what the budget is, but.
Well, I think we're seeing that a lot more though, right, with TV shows. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're starting to become more and more like movies.
Movies aren't really a thing anymore. They haven't been making them for like a year, so there's none of the cinemas.
Well, you go and watch bloody fucking one of the Avengers movies, and it all looks like CGI. It all looks like it's made on a computer. Which it is made on a computer. That's right. But then you watch, the space scenes in this episode, and you go, okay, well, it's all totally believable.
They balance out.
It doesn't look like it's made on a computer, right? And it's like, okay, well, so that is even if the quality was less than like a giant budget movie, right? That's still better than it looking like it's made on a computer.
Yeah.
Every single time, but. It doesn't look worse. It looks just as good.
Yeah. Well, there's a way to utilize CGI, and it's not by making every fucking thing CGI.
Yeah.
It's a balance. Yeah, you have the live action elements with all the wire work and the blue screens, and then you cut that out with the CGI ships. And yeah, it just looks fucking in the creative world.
Come on, Alex, you're killing me.
No. Don't touch me. Yeah, in the book, that big fucking robot that Miller physically goes into, it's like a mining mech and it has all these big, huge, massive drills on it, and it's fucking it's in the book for ages. Like pretty much as soon as Holden goes down, there's like a few more chapters in there, and Holden's like riding on its back, and it's like drilling through fucking walls and
That's
stuff.
really weird.
Yeah, he's having conversations with this fucking giant mining mech thing that's
I think that would have actually been really weird to put on the screen.
Yeah. There's a moment too where Holden's like, you know, what the fuck is this? Because it breaks him out of like a little area, and then Holden's like, ah! It's like, no, it's me, kid. And he's like, what the fuck is going on? And Miller's like, oh, I can phase myself on top of it as well, so you can see like the mining mech and then the image of me on top of it. And he does that, and it's like shoots a stabbing pain into Holden's head. He's like, no,
yeah, this is not good.
So yeah, I'm glad that they did that as much as they could for that little sequence, and it is still super weird and surreal.
Yeah, well,
and odd.
that's actually a really interesting choice, not doing it like that, isn't it? Like it's
they're just compressing time at this point.
I mean, that's true.
It's playing out over 4 hours. It plays out over like an hour, I guess.
Yeah. No. Well. No. Yeah. It's an interesting, even taking into account the time compression thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting what they chose to do. Rather than what they could have done, right? Which again, as I said, would have maybe looked a little bit weird.
Yeah. Well, their strengths are very much like evaluating the books and then making changes and updates to that with the show, which for a lot of the time is fucking way better than the books.
Yeah, so that's...
And this episode was written by the writers once again, so they know their fucking shit, man. They wrote the source material.
Yeah. It comes directly from the horse's mouth. So.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it worked really well, right? Something like that could have been distracting, maybe, but it worked really, really well. It was very, very high tension this episode.
Yeah.
I was super engaged.
Yeah, there were like 3 different narratives playing out simultaneously, which all had really, great, satisfying endings.
You can say by this point that Mercury is a piece of shit. Right? Like I remember
when he makes the jump to shoot the shuttle at the Rossi, that's the kind of okay.
Yeah. No, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
like I can't.
Everything was justified before that.
I can't defend him anymore.
In the book, because there's a gender swap and the female is a male, but he gets like a massive bit of fucking shrapnel in his leg and he's all bleeding out, like dying and shit. And yeah, the Holden Mercury, like Western style showdown, that's super satisfying as well.
Yeah.
They both express their like ideology and their views and where they're coming from, and then Holden fucking shoots him.
well, Holden was never going. It's actually really interesting how Mercury was going out of his way to not step on Holden's toes.
Yeah.
And it just sort of gives you like the impression of the competency of the Rossi crew, right? Like don't fuck with them unless you really have to, right?
Yeah, that's fair. And Mercury's like, alright, you're gonna fucking take me out now. He's like, no.
We're gonna fucking rest. Yeah.
We're gonna sit you in our ship for 8 months and fly back through the ring gates and back to Earth and send you to fucking prison, you piece of shit. Then we get all the LV stuff with the angry eye of a god.
That was a great comment. I like that comment.
Yeah.
Well, what can you see? What's it look like? The angry eye.
Yeah.
It's like,
I can't perceive it. He's like, we're gonna find something that sticks out in this room.
Well,
this?
The shot though, like before they actually reveal it, like they show sort of like an empty room, and while Miller's saying, you've got to look around for something, and then it like cuts to like the revealing shot, which is kind of like the same. It's like a transition shot.
Yeah.
To then what Holden's saying, and he's sort of like wandering around this thing looking at it, and it's like, that's fucking really cool.
Yeah, really nice use of editing, really great reveal. There's also a great shot in this episode after the shuttle explodes and all the shrapnel, when Naomi and Alex are kind of walking around in the Rossi, and it's a big long tracking shot just following them as they're like freaking out about all this fucking stuff
they go on all the consoles.
And it's got, that floating feeling that they have in Zero G with the camera wobbling as it's tracking them around the Rossi, and they just get to act for like a minute or so without any cuts.
Yeah.
I love all the physics and like the mechanics of the 2 ships and them trying to figure out all that jazz as well. I mean, in conclusion, The Expanse is good. We keep on reiterating it.
Beating a dead horse by this point. I think everybody gets it.
The show is excellent.
Repetitive. Oh, this show.
Yeah, this show.
this show, your show,
Oh,
is repetitive.
my show is
Yeah.
excellent, Steve.
Some would say better than The Expanse itself.
Yeah, I think watching two Aussies sitting in a garage, sweating their balls off, talking about a show is far better than a high concept sci-fi series.
I agree with that.
Alright, good night!
Good night.
They're watching it at night.
Who's watching it? Nobody's watching it. Nobody's watching it. Like 2 people are watching it. It's just you. It's just you refreshing it. Maybe me.
64,000 views, Steve. That's not nothing. That's something.
Maybe. Yeah, what's the average views though?
Expanse ones get like 100 views.
Oh, that's alright. That's not too bad.
Yeah. It's my hobby. Some people go fishing. Some people play bowls. It doesn't
No.
need to be successful.
Nobody goes fishing. That's just a conspiracy made up by big fishing. The big fishing industry.
Alright, we're done. We're done!